Hello, this is Debbie Kay with the League of Women Voters of Portland. We're here with the support of MetroEast Community Media to interview candidates running in the 2020 primary election. With me today is Janelle Bynum, running for State Representative District 51. Welcome, Janelle.
Thank you.
Tell us about yourself, why you're running for this office.
Well, my name is Janelle Bynum. I proudly represent House District 51, which is the communities of East Portland, North Clackamas, Damascus, Gresham, Boring, and Happy Valley. I am a mom of four and trained as an electrical engineer and a business owner. And the reason I'm running is because I want to continue my advocacy for education. I want to make sure that our Main Street businesses, their voices are elevated at the table, and that we continue to look forward to being able to pass on our wealth, whatever it is, in any form, to the next generation.
Thank you. Tell me, what challenges have been and will be created by this pandemic to the effective and efficient administration of Oregon state government? How do you propose to meet those challenges?
So I think first and foremost, we're seeing that population of people who never imagined themselves falling through the cracks are. We have our independent contractors, our gig economy workers, our undocumented family members. We have a whole swath of people who ordinarily wouldn't, maybe they don't show up on everybody's radar, but they're really showing up on our radar now. Our Main Street businesses, we had expected help from the federal government, and I know probably by the time that this airs, things will change dramatically, but we are not receiving the assistance that we once thought we would. And then it's going to require a lot of cooperation and coordination on the part of all of our elected leaders to deal with the financial fallout in our government with our budget next year.
Thank you. Traditionally, the legislature has conducted the decennial redistricting process, which will occur next year in 2021. Are you comfortable with the current redistricting process? And if not, how would you seek to change it?
Well, there are people who are much smarter than I am, much more skilled in this area. But here are my concerns. I try to lead with my values. And one thing I want to make sure of is that the voices of marginalized communities are at the table and have a loud and real voice when it comes to whatever changes we make. The other thing I wanted to point out is that I represent what they call a swing district. And actually, the last time I ran, my voters were 1/3 D, 1/3 R for Republican, 1/3 non-affiliated or smaller parties. And so for me, making sure that all voices were at the table, regardless of your stripe, I think is important. And as a minority, I think that a lot of times, people default to majority rules, and that's the setup that our country has. But I do think making sure that the voice of the minority, the voice of the marginalized is never drowned out. And so, like I said, there'll be people smarter than me at the table, but those are the values that I'm going to bring to the conversation.
Thank you. What are your thoughts on cap and trade proposals intended to mitigate climate change? A good idea or not? Why?
Well, I think if I can just address that we had a breakdown in our last legislative session. It's not something that I'm proud of. And I think that I voted for the cap and trade proposals. And it's important to people in my district that we do something about the environment. But I also think it's important to all Oregonians, this place that we call home, this place that we love, that we maintain clean air, fresh water, and that we address climate change. But I do think we have to have a much deeper emotional commitment that unifies our state rather than tears it apart. So I'm hoping in the next legislative session to be one of the people who's a bridge builder to get everyone back to the table.
Thank you. What is your view of the suggestion that the legislature suspend collecting the taxes to fund the 2019 Student Success Act?
Well, one of the things I'm most proud of is getting additional funds through the Success Act to our schools. And I'm not interested in turning my back on that commitment and that effort. That is the main issue that I ran on, and I'm so proud that we were able to accomplish that. As I mentioned, I have 4 children. Their education is of paramount importance. Oregon has been historically underfunding our education system, and I'm not willing to turn my back on that. As a business owner, I know that it is hard. Based on the current environment, will likely not be able to meet that obligation April 30th. And so I'm going to ask for basically a hardship waiver and make a payment plan as best I can. But turning back on our children, it's just not an option for me.
Thank you. We have some time remaining. Is there anything you would like to talk about?
Well, one of the things I've been working on in my office is mental health supports. Not only are we going to need finances to get us out of this, but we're also going to need to make our mental health support system far more robust than it is. And we have an issue right now where our training requirements are so much more than our neighboring states. And so I'm working in earnest to make sure that we have a pipeline of people who can meet the mental health needs of our state. So that's very important to me, and I look forward to actually working on that for years to come, because keeping our minds and our bodies in shape is just as important as being financially healthy.
True enough. One more minute. What else would you like to offer?
Well, I want to offer people some sense of hope. These are very difficult times. Many of us are experiencing tragedy like we've never experienced before. But, as I sit here today, I can see outside my window beautiful cherry blossoms. I heard birds chirping this morning. It's a beautiful blue sky. We are in the midst of a pandemic, but Mother Earth has a way of cleansing herself. And I believe that this time that we've had to spend together with our families is precious. And I hope that people will use it to come out of it better than the way we entered it. So I offer hope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been Video Voters Guide. The primary election is Tuesday, May 19th. Please be an informed voter. Visit vote411.org to learn about all the races on your ballot and exercise your right to vote. Thank you for coming today.